It's May 10th, 2023. Yesterday I made a mistake on the video on the day. 2 videos back. But yeah, this is a big punk. That retired, okay, where they keep saying they had special permission to be in her house. He may have wore his tutu and his little ballerina shoes and had his little magic wand and his tiara on. I give you special permission. He can't give people special permission. You have to actually have a hard court order. And a court order only in a protected light case with statements. There's nothing else. He punked Dave and took his money. And then punked the drug cartel to come down here and help. That Pete was into with the drug cartel. The human traffickers. Okay? He punked everybody. So, and you know what happened to the drug cartel? 800 of them are in jail. Yeah, he's punking all these people into helping out. Like he would have special permission. Oh, it was Karen's. Well, they said it was Pete only on his own. He only seen that agent at that church. So, yeah. So, who was there? Retired Judge Pete on his own. And like they told my client on Chaparral Church Road, her next door neighbor, that retired Judge Pete drugged and photoshopped everything. They're stocking tapes. Now, we're going to talk again. I seen on the internet a Portage County sheriff got arrested for 2 rapes. Or a rape or whatever. He got for raping somebody. He's in jail. Now, if you pulled the case between July and September 19, the guy that's smothering me looks a lot like him. The white with the black stubbly hair, dark eyes, tattoo. Pull the case. February 25th, 22. McDonald's on, I think it's Fulton and Whipple. February 25th, 22. What is it, 8 to 10 in the morning. One of my old neighbors from on John Thomas Road. You see people, but you don't know them. And you just, either just acknowledge them when you drive by. Well, he come down from Ravenna. I'm tired of this. And he's talking about the police lying to that agent. And he found out that agent didn't even watch one house tape. And he's tired of this. Okay? And he's running his mouth. And he said some guy found out what she lived through and thinks she's amazing. And he'd like to meet her. I told him, go ahead. Stands up a man, walks over and says, hi, I'm Vito. It's like, hi. He thinks I'm amazing. I almost died to save my family. I lived through a concentration camp. And it's public knowledge. See, that, I told you, 2 nights back on Turquoise Street at my other clients. They were out there screaming stuff. It's a bunch of prostitutes and drug dealers. That's why they don't act right in public. They're out there screaming, act like Looney Tunes, because they're high. Okay? Guy showed up, and he's like, I just got back from I just talked to Dave. I told him, are you crazy? Trying to tell people that you hire someone to tape her unaware in your home and do all those things to her? You'll go to jail for that. Duh. He said he didn't think about it until he read what she wrote, what he did. And he's like, and he said he did see that guy at that church. And that is what's going on. For my God, I had an FBI agent, yeah, in my thing. See, that's where they said that Dave was dating one of those cops' daughters. Also, he was dating Michelle, retired Judge Pete's daughter. He was also dating a Lauren, a heavy-set girl with big boobs, and she drove a blue car, and wore her hair French braided. And then there was also a real pretty girl with dark hair and brown eyes. Dave had 17 girlfriends in high school. He manipulates women. He had at least 4 or 5 up there. And he was and all their families were gold digging. They're pieces of shit up there. You're willing to drug somebody, rape them, Photoshop them in stocking tapes, beat them, and sell videos of it to get a house and some shiny rocks to wear? Are you serious? But they're that kind of pieces of shit up there. There's several of them. They're messed up in that big drug cartel. They don't care who they kill or destroy, so they can have a nicer house to live in. My retirement home. See, this is where I bet they did lie to that agent. See, I called. I told you, after Will was rude, and I heard Dave threatening Dixie and the babies. And, excuse me. Dixie and the babies life. And, that they had a list. I googled the office he was at, and I found it. Lady yelled out, well, he's got a list. I'm working on it. Okay? He heard Dave. Dave's phone's legally tapped from the protected custody case, September 27th, 18. All right. And then when I seen that guy, and he was down the street, I had to swerve and then get my, I had the garage door open and got my house, closed it, and called him at the office number. And she yelled out, well, she seen that guy. He was down the street. You tell those police up there to get a hold of this. We're busy. They were too busy. I almost got shot in the head of driving before that. I had stalkers coming at me. And you're a little busy. I got beat with internal injuries, and you're busy, and there's a hospital report. People are breaking in and drugging me until I'm vomiting and losing 5 to 7 pounds a week, and you're busy. I'm living through a 007 movie, and you're busy? The biggest case in the world. Henry Mafia had already got a hold of me when the guys from the Detroit was. Huh? Thought I was beautiful. Started texting me through Instagram. He was here in Louisville. Found out from a coworker. Him and the Detroit boys. They were here in Louisville. Now we're going to go back to the rape and torture and protected custody, July to September 19. The guy that would smother me, tall white guy, black hair, stubbly, dark eyes. He had a tattoo on him. There's a video of him. He wore sloppy pants, and one of my security got him out of my face in Walmart before that. None of this is funny. You leave her alone, because he got in my face. And he yelled at him. Okay? Well, guess what? And I told you he was 20 to 30. 34-year-old. That was 4 years ago. He's 34 now. There's a Portage County sheriff in jail for rape. And I'll tell you what, after I got tortured, the tall white guy, 6 foot, 180, 200 pounds, shaved head, dark eyes, tattoo too, drove the dark gray truck in 18 and 19. Threatened to arrest me at Faith Family Church. Now, he is either the Detroit boys' second kidnapper, or he's a Portage County sheriff. Or he's one of the Detroit boys. It's one of the three. And that's where this is an oh my God case. And that they said that agent didn't even bother to watch one house tape. That's where, in front of my friend Becky, we were at Giant Eagle, and we're walking around, and people are saying stuff, okay? We go out to the car, and by AutoZone, February 7th, 22, about noon, my car stopped. Said, Will did this to her, said, look, Will did a little with the case and left it on his desk. He opened a protected custody case, had a cop talk to Dave. Requirements of the Department of Justice to be in your home. Police and agencies can only be in your home under a threat of life with statements. Okay? And, or it's entrapment. It's illegal search and seizure. They can't stalk you in your home, Photoshop you, date rape, drug you, and tell you to say something stupid so you're sleepwalking. That's not the law. That's very illegal. President Nixon couldn't bug an office. That's where I tried to tell Officer Reinhardt about the tapes before he giggled like a little girl. Crossed his arms. I don't care what they say they got. I don't care what they say they did. until, well, the Canton FBI took your statement and agreed to protect you. They couldn't even be in your home. It's protected custody cases with statements only. Or they'd go to jail. Nixon couldn't park an office. We actually live in an amazing country. See, he actually opened it, had a heavy set officer, white hair. He was over the case. He'll tell you I'm innocent of everything. And he was in the back of CSE Bank. He was at Liberty House Share. He was outside my clients in Hartmill telling them I was an informant. So, yeah, this has got to the point of that agent opened that case, and I don't think he did anything with it. He just let it run, and that's why everything went hairy-carry, where I'm getting almost shot. See, this is where it pisses the hell out of me. He didn't bother. They said he stole the money. If not, it's sitting in an account somewhere, and the FBI needs to give it to me. The sheriffs and the police used my case to get 800 bad guys. My one friend, I went out to eat with him. He lives 2.5 hours away. My police department's using the case, or knows about the case that agent opened. And he said the police are using that case that agent opened to get these guys. They know about the Texas group that was involved in your case. And I said, oh, the Kingsmen, is that what they called themselves? They went down and talked to a retired judge in Texas about this big human trafficking scam. And he killed himself. He said there's another judge in another state in this big human trafficking scam. He said, and they're going to be getting him. That was January 20th, 2023, about 6 o'clock in the evening. My phone's down. FBI informant. I want you to think of this. FBI informant. Everything I have, it's been bugged for 4.5 years. That agent opened the case and just left it. Left me for a drug cartel to abuse the hell out of me and a retired judge. For his little Babette. And there's supposed to be a cop's daughter involved. Where are those other girls? And they were talking about Turquoise Street a couple nights back. They found they said that Dave was actually dating one of the cops up there, daughter too. This is why all this happened. The FBI, that's where it went. Tuscarora Sheriff's. I went down to get my CCW. He's like, you tell me what's going on. So I did. And he's like, for one thing, all of us know your ex-husband's crazy. Okay? He said, if there was any Portage County sheriffs involved in this, the FBI needs to arrest them, and they need to move you out of here. I was supposed to be moved out. I was supposed to get money. I tried to tell that agent that that guy was up at that church telling on me. Dave told Danny that guy was screaming out on Turquoise Street. Dave said he's seen that guy at that church. That is what's going on. An officer, November 6, 22 at Trinity Gospel, had told the investigators he didn't tell on him before, and he's seen an agent tell him before I called him back. See, this is where Will's bad behavior is illegal, and it costs lives. If he would have, but he opened the case with money, and he diplomatic immunity, and it's for working this case. That's why the police see me, the informants here. They got 800 bad guys on February 14, 2023, where that guy on January 2023 said that they're going to be taking care of this big human trafficking scam across the country. Nationwide 800. It was 3 weeks later. See what I mean? They got 800 bad guys because I left them out. People have died and been taken around me. And this is that agent's fault. The FBI needs to make this right. Kids in Louisville on Saturday night, I was walking. Karen's Will's here today. No one's to say a word. It was just her ex-husband with that guy, some guy named Pete on his own, doing all that stuff to her. And the FBI betrayed her. Then the Mennonite kids, and I go in a steak place. What was it, Sunday night? It was Saturday or Sunday night. You can switch the 2 days around. I went out to eat. Go in, and people are saying, the police said she's going to be here. And that none of this is funny. Nobody's to say a word to her. Mennonite kids were talking when I got out of the bathroom. We found out Karen's ex-husband even threatened a baby. She lived through all that, and they didn't even pay her. No, if they don't, FBI don't make this right. You use somebody to get you information, and you don't pay them, you don't move them out, you don't help them, and you feed them to a drug cartel? And don't tell me Will fell for some guy named Pete scam on his own. The date rape, drugs, and the photoshopping when he knew he couldn't even look at it. Because you don't get special Tinkerbell permission to stalk somebody. He may run around in a tutu and little ballerina shoes and his little tiara and a wand. I give you special permission. Oh, I give you special permission. There's no such thing, sweetie. Crack kills brain cells. Whatever you're taking is making you stupider. Like what's Aesop? It's a child's book. See what I mean? That's where I worked in a bank. I could look you up with your social and to look at everybody that you talked to, who, what account you had, where's the money at, where it got transferred. I did loan processing. I may not be the smartest cookie in the bunch, but I'm not the stupidest one either. That's where I'm not. And where the hell did that agent go? I think that where that guy sat in front of Becky. He did a little with the case and left it on the desk, and hell was breaking loose around me, and he didn't have one. And that's where those kids out on Turquoise Street in Canton. We were talking about the case with our teacher, because that judge sold with being a judge. And if there's a dirty cop involved, sold the login to the protected custody case at $25 a pop. It was a school discussion. Teenage kids, we discussed the case with our teacher and said all those bad things happened to her because that agent didn't want to help her. Now, who's going to trust any FBI agent ever again? Seriously, in this area. Like those Mennonite kids, they let all those things happen to her and they didn't even pay her. They cannot not pay me. I told the Department of Justice. See, once you open an account, you have embezzlement charges S641. You can't withhold or misdirect. Huh? Money. It's embezzlement, theft. You can't just steal somebody's money. You can't call somebody a liar. Department of Justice 1729, where I tried to tell him that guy was at that church, telling him, you liar. I'm not a liar. And everybody's talking about him. And then one of that guy threatened to knife me. He's a Detroit Boys' kidnapper. Was there a camera above the bench? I didn't know. You either say you're lying, I'll put you in jail. Made me beg for my life, then listed me informant with money, diplomatic immunity for life for working the case, and then threatened me again. I already told him Dave and the churches knew. And it's his fault that he didn't find out. It's his fault he didn't do anything. All this is his fault. Someone needs to make this right. Because there's still a real case and it's still going on.